Hello, people. We are back. It is us. It's your boy, International Walk.
It's your girl, Tosh, the co-host with the most.
And we back for another episode of us.
Aren't you glad we're here?
Aren't you? Oh, wow.
Aren't you glad?
You see how you did that? Aren't you fucking glad? We back. We back for another episode of us, A2TP Podcast, episode 146.
See?
146 in the building. Out there, y'all can catch us on Facebook, A2TPodcast.com, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Pod Chaser, and Player FM. Got that shit right this week. Boom!
You got it.
Let's get right to it. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing really good. Mentally, I'm a 9, and that's not to say that
that's
anything.
Good. That's good.
Yeah, I'm a pleasant 9. I think I'm a 9 instead of a 10. The year is just coming down on me. I'm grateful. I'm not complaining about it, but it's like, you know how you get that feeling on like a Thursday, Friday as you headed towards the weekend. Mm-hmm. I think you start getting that feeling like October, November as you head towards the end of the year.
Last quarter exit.
Yeah, but I'm grateful, extremely grateful. So, nothing is wrong, but yeah, I'm just feeling like a 9. Financially, I am a 10. Thank God we are blessed. We are communication in relationships, like we always say, is important, and communication about finances too. And I love the fact that we can come together and have those conversations about things we need to do, things we need to collaborate on, whether it's cutting back, saving up, stacking up, whatever it is we're doing. So thank God for that, and I ask always that He allow us to be a blessing to others. Work is a 9. Again, nothing wrong per se. I'm still excited. My boss, every time I get a chance to talk to her, she's like, "Are you still happy? Are you still staying with us?" I really love my job. Again, I think I just no. I think I'm just feeling like a 9 because of the same thing as like the end of the year. My year, I'm finding out in this position, starts to like slow down towards the end of the year, which I'm extremely grateful for.
A bitch is in here sleeping till noon. The fuck is that about? I'm
I
out here
was
making
off
a living, busting my
that
ass.
day.
Huh?
I was off.
What'd I say?
Don't do that, because I do not sleep until noon on work days. And then physically, I'm a 9. I'm gonna just say I'm a 9 again. But my body is hurting. Like, it hurts so good. Working out ain't for the faint of heart, because 1, you're not gonna always feel like it mentally. 2, even if you feel like it mentally, your body may hurt. So physically, that's going to fight against you. And then if mentally you're not like, super motivated and your body hurting, that really takes a lot of push. And, I'm grateful to have the trainer / partner / friend.
What stage do you have to be in? Because I'm kind of there where I want to every day. So mental, I don't have to worry about my mental. Now, my physical, I agree with you there, where sometimes it can be like, shit, like I do kind of hurt on my, I'm kind of weary in the body, but once, you get started, you out of that. But mentally, it's like, no, this is like my lifestyle. I have to do this.
Mentally, I'm there, and knowing that I have to do it. You know what? It's kind of like the beginning phase for me. It's like the getting started. Once,
Gotcha.
We knock off that first 25 minutes, like, okay, I'm in it. Like, but that, it doesn't mean every single day, but for the most part, like, I don't want you to leave me.
Right.
And I'm not like,
you show up every day.
Yeah.
You do the workout. It's just,
if I can't go, I can't go. But it ain't like I'm like making up excuses like, babe, I'm not gonna be able to make it today. Like, I'm going. But some days just be like, this would be good nap time. But
yeah. I can't say I don't feel that sometime, where it'd be like, If I didn't go, it wouldn't be so bad because I go every day. But then it'd be like, I'd just be like, I'm not showing up for me. I'm gonna let myself down.
And my thing is, I know that there will be occasions where I can't go, so I want to go as often as I can and take it.
So
like
when
this,
those times pop up, it's for a reason why you're not.
Yeah,
there.
like this week, fingers crossed. I think I'm going to make the 5 days. Next week I have a couple of different things to go to, so I'm pretty sure like I'll make 4. No, I'm pretty sure I'll make 3, maybe 4. So, my schedule ebbs and flows. So I want to go as often as I can when I can, because when I can't, I just can't. So that's where I am. But my body, I am looking forward to a massage. Like,
well, they charge my fucking card.
Well,
so
yeah.
Go get it.
Yes, I'm going for my massage, my facial, like. Yeah, I need the works. I might like slip a couple dollars, like add a little half hour on that, because I need the works. But yeah, I'm grateful. How are you?
I am good. I am just gonna say I'm 9s across the board. So mentally, I feel like I'm a 9. Just life is just it's got a better understanding of it. That's all. Let me just say that. I'm not gonna say it's good or bad. It's just I have a better understanding of it. Along with my marriage, finances 9, blessed, works a 9. My fellas are the shit. My crew is the shit. And physically, I feel like a 9. As y'all can see, I got on like a baggy shirt, but like being huge is not like a small thing to do. Like, so I bulge out a lot of my stuff now because I'm just getting like that. But it is what it is. That's a different story for another day.
But this shirt fits you a little baggy because you are slimming down some, but your arms just getting a little big. So you was lifting weights today, and I was looking like, I think you gonna be able to like pick me up. Sorry, that's another conversation for a different day.
That's episode 150.
What's your wows and woes?
My wow is what's my wow? What happened this week? Nah, I can't pinpoint no wows. I can't make up nothing. Just another week of progress of living. Yeah, just another week. I mean, it's halfway through the week, so yeah, I can't think of nothing right off the bat. I had a great weekend. Yeah, I had a great weekend. Anniversary, that was good. Spending time in New York, that was good. Went to go see the Jay-Z exhibit. That was freaking awesome, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. They did Hove right with that. It's coming back to me now. So this weekend, we went to go see Jay-Z at the Brooklyn Library. So that was a big wow. Anytime me and my baby step out on a Sunday at that, like, what the fuck was we thinking? And I'm thinking, I'm going to be back in the house by 3:30. I ain't get the fuck back in the house till 7:30 at night. But the Jay-Z exhibit was dope. For y'all who are Jay-Z fans and get a chance to go see it, it's something you should put like on your list. And you got to go before December 4th because it's wrapping up on his birthday.
Unless they extend it, because initially it was supposed to end in October.
But it is a dope exhibit to see from the start all the way to the end. Everything involved, everything Jay-Z was there, except for Jay-Z, but everything involved with him was there. His whole career, the actual studio where these songs was made. Yeah, it was a big deal for me because that was like taking me back to yesterday. Most of his albums was the soundtrack to my life. Didn't listen to anything growing up in high school and middle school except Jay-Z. So yeah, it was like the soundtrack to my life, those songs. And it was just crazy to see how far the dude come. A guy from Marcy Projects to end up being the biggest rapper in the world and a billionaire. Like, it don't get no... Talk about the American dream. Like, that's the American dream. So yeah, it shouts out to Hove, my favorite artist. So yeah, that was my wow. My woe was got no woes. Got no woes. Thank God I got no woes. Just made it another week. That's it. What's your wows and woes?
Well, my wow, similar but pivot a little bit, was our anniversary. You know, the fact that we were in New York was just, you know, us deciding to do something, you know, because we didn't have the opportunity to travel this year as we had planned. But just our anniversary for me was our wow.
I drew a blank,
Yeah,
bro. I drew like a real blank.
Yeah,
But I drew a real.
Jay-Z was your wow, so you know,
a real blank.
it is what it is. But
I drew a real blank. It was 22 years that me and my baby have been together, and I just drew a blank for a
Jay-Z
second.
was his wow though.
I was trying to search, and
but you mentioned it, but you breezed past it.
I didn't breeze past it. It was just that was the reason why we was up there. We celebrated 22 years together. And that's a big freaking deal for us. So yeah, that's both of our wives. I'm piggybacking on her wow because I fucked up. That's my mistake.
Yeah, so that was my wow. You know, just and it took me back. I use his language. It took me back to yesterday. It was nostalgic for me because it reminded me of what was like the genesis of us. Like we used to be out, like before we could get on a plane to go places. You know, we used to go to New York frequently just to spend the day together. We used to go anywhere we wanted to just to spend the day together, you know, walk around talking, chilling, eating, just, you know, just the simple things in life that we just always enjoyed together, just being together. And the spontaneity. I got to give a shout out to my babe because initially on Saturday, he was just ranting like, you want to go up to New York? But the logistics just didn't pan out right, so we kind of pushed it to Sunday. So Sunday was planned, but the thought of doing it was spontaneous, and I appreciate that. But yeah, it just really, for me, felt nostalgic, like, you know, and it made me think we always have all these plans, like they say, man plans, God laughs. And maybe this was, you know, the intent that God had for us this year, to sit us down and bring us back to where we started. Like, yeah, we can get on planes legally, financially we have the means to do so, you know, just other circumstances, you know, aren't allowing us to travel right now, but it doesn't mean that we still can't do the things that we've always enjoyed doing. And this weekend really epitomized that, of like where we started. So yeah, it was that was my wow. It was just a great day.
What was your
I didn't have any woes. I don't have any woes. I won't fake it or make one up. Yeah, I'm actually still kind of basking in the enjoyment of the weekend. So that's
wow. That's like a stab in the heart because I drew a blank on it and she's
I'm not. I'm saying.
I'm telling you, I've been with her for 22 years. That's like a little.
I'm just saying.
Like, I'm still basking in the love of 22 years, nigga, and you just breezed over it like Jay-Z was your wow, and you didn't. You know, it's like I missed the shot, but I'm you know, I'm super happy that we've been together for 22 years. It's a staple in our relationship, and you know, I don't want it to change. I'm sorry.
No sorry needed.
Okay.
I know you.
What you want to talk about?
It's been a lot going on. Let's just get this out the way because there's been talking about dates and that sort of thing. There's been a lot of conversation around this list that was created. I think Wallow compiled it. He said with some feedback from, you know, some women that he know about what are acceptable first dates.
Okay.
And this is one of those things where I think it's cute, it's funny, you know, you kind of get to see people's insight. And one of the things that I think too is a difference in thinking, okay, if we were single dating today at 40 plus, both of us 40 plus, you closer to 50, I'm closer to 40, then, you know, I had to throw that shout out there.
I'm about to say, like, I can't, y'all see what's going on, right? Motherfucker make one mistake, atone for it, and, you know, I did the spontaneous thing on the anniversary, and I'm still getting fucking hammered.
I'm just saying, both 40 plus, our dating criteria would be different than it was at 20.
Of
So
course.
so it's like seeing some of the remarks and the comments that people, I mean, to each their own. I kind of grouped together like all the different restaurants and stuff that
I
were.
feel two ways about this. But hold on.
Let me just say this. I group a lot of the restaurants together because, like, just as an example, I do not like Cheesecake Factory. But if I did, it doesn't mean that that isn't an acceptable date. Like, I would put Cheesecake Factory, Red Lobster, Olive Garden,
Okay.
all those restaurants in the same bubble. So yeah.
But let's just read off the 28 things and then we can talk from there. So the list of, and I feel two ways about this. I kind of have two perspectives on this, but the list of 28 things, of 28 places that women of today don't want to be taken on a first date. One, obviously, like she said, is the Cheesecake Factory. Applebee's, Chili's, Chipotle, Olive Garden, to the movies. To your house, which I agree with. You shouldn't be taking nobody back to your house. That's a little weird.
Yeah, go through the list.
Any fast food chain, Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, Red Lobster, any buffet, IHOP, Denny's, the gym, church, Starbucks, any coffee date, any ice cream date, a family function, no stay home and movie night, Netflix and chill, somewhere that requires a long drive, like over a half hour or so, bowling, no nightclubs, no hookah bar, no to the bar just for drinks, Waffle House, and any sporting event. Which that last one is crazy to me. Fucking front row tickets to the Lakers. You don't want to go on the first date? If you don't want to go to the Lakers game with me, I got front row seats. Like, what's wrong with you?
I think a woman who said that is just probably somebody who completely isn't interested in sports. So I kind of get it. That I kind of get. Like, yeah, that's a great date. But for somebody who's completely disinterested, like, I don't know a lot about sports, but I have an interest. And I know that even if you don't really know a lot, being in an atmosphere of a sporting event, you become a fan anyway just because it's so lit being in that atmosphere. Mm-hmm. But I can get that. The house and the Netflix and Hulu automatically out the question. Again, at any age, I would have felt like this, but especially at my age, I don't want you to know where I live at, and I'm not coming to your house on a first date. So That's out the question. One of the other ones, the movies. That's not a great first date because when you're new and you're getting to know somebody, you want to be able to talk. Sitting in the quiet watching a movie with a new person, like, it's kind of like, yeah, you might enjoy the movie, but that's something like you do with your friend. Like,
but what if y'all met along the basis of, like, that was a part of y'all, you was on the phone for 5 hours and y'all bonded over movies? And it was like, okay, oh, damn, you like that too? You like that? Oh, this is coming out. And you surprised with the first date as being a movie. Like, I don't see nothing wrong with that. Now, me personally, I wouldn't go to the movies, but I don't see nothing wrong with the movies.
I mean,
and that's my point is a lot of these things on here, as a man of the stature of man that I am, the status I am in my life, like, I don't frequent Applebee's and Chili's and Olive Garden and Chipotle and Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, I don't do buffets or anything like that. So I wouldn't be taking anybody to a date.
Right, but do you think that if a woman does like those, that is it? Now, see, again, I think it's two different categories. Like a Wingstop, a Chipotle, those are like, I kind of put those in the fast food category, where like an Applebee's, Chili's,
Applebee's is fast food. It's just sit down fast food.
But it's different. It's a restaurant. You have a waitress that comes and take your order. Yeah. So that's what I mean. That goes in the same category as Cheesecake Factory, Red Lobster, Outback, Longhorn. That's all the same category. I think any restaurant, if that's your liking, and this is another thing that I had commented to somebody, it's also circumstantial. So think about this. While Chipotle isn't an ideal first date for most, like you said, what if we busting it up? We talking and I mentioned like, oh my God, that is my favorite place, blah, blah, blah. And you surprise me like, let's meet, again, this is kind of weird too, because I feel like I wouldn't want you to pick me up on the first date. But if you surprise me like, okay, let's, meet at Chipotle, or if you did come pick me up and you take me to Chipotle for lunch, it's kind of sentimental because it shows you paid attention to what I said. I told you this was my favorite. Now, after that, we may do something else, but so I think some of those things, it's a little tricky. Even when it comes to fast food, right? Think about this. if you are, let's say, going to a sporting event, right? Everybody knows chicken fingers $30 at a basketball game. So if the guy is like, all right, let's grab some Chick-fil-A or whatever, before we head to the game. One, I'm thinking he's financially intelligent because he knows it's about to be $1 million in here. I don't want to buy $30 chicken fingers, and I'm not mad at him that he don't want to buy $30 chicken fingers. So if we go and get some Chick-fil-A and we haven't, I like taking the all of the pomp and circumstance out of it, and just being cool and casual and being able to chill and be yourself.
If that's how the date's supposed to be. I mean, I agree. There's some places on here I just would not go, or I would think as a man, I don't want to take you on an ice cream date. I don't go to bars.
That's so cute, though.
No, but I'm just saying I wouldn't do that. And as a man, I look at it like there's some places on here that I wouldn't frequent, that I wouldn't take you, that I think is cheap. And I say that from a standpoint of if I'm into you and I'm digging you and I want to date you, I want you to be my girl. Like I see something in us. I'm trying to court you. So I will concede to what do you want to do, but not put it on you. Like I'll poke and probe to find out some things you like, and then I'll make the plans because I don't want to bombard you with what you want to do, what you want to do, what you want to do.
I'll do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, so I'll poke and probe to find out some things you like, and then I'll set the evening up or the day up that we're going to spend together. But there's I'm trying to court you, so I'm gonna be okay with spending some money on a date because I want you. I want you to hang around. I want to get to know you. I don't want you to be like this cheap motherfucker, and not that it's all about money, but first impressions is a lot. And if you're taking a girl out on a date, you getting all dressed up, I think you should do the maximum. That's just what I think.
But see, sometimes guys, that's a great way to think. And me knowing that you're a great guy, that's beautiful. Sometimes guys do the maximum to lure you in. They love bomb you and they do all that, and then they can't maintain.
That's another thing. Like if I'm trying to court you, I think we can have a small understanding of, hey, I'm trying to get to know you. I ain't no fucking stalker. Like, don't be wary of me coming to pick you up and shit like that. If you got them type of red flags up, it's going to be, I don't know, it just makes it difficult because it's like, that's the last thing on my mind is wanting to know where you live at for some bad reason. Like I just want to come
say that from a place of a good man.
Yeah, I want to come and pick you up to be like, yo, I showed up, opened the door for you. Like I didn't tell you to go catch an Uber and meet me in a mall parking lot or some shit.
Yeah, no, and me as a woman of a certain age, if I was single, I would say, while I appreciate the gesture, I would feel more comfortable if I met you at the restaurant. Okay. That would be me. Because a crazy person is going to say just what you said. And it's like, how am I supposed to know? Or if 3 dates down the line, I decide he ain't the one for me, now he already know where I live. Like, so I get what you're saying. But as a woman, you gotta protect yourself.
I feel you.
So I wouldn't want
from the male perspective, it's just like, yo, I'm trying to court you. Like I'm just trying to make things nice. I'm trying to give a good first impression so that you like me and so that we like each other the same.
So when I pull up in the parking lot,
and I feel like as on a date, those are things that I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to court you. I'm supposed to. If we talked about a restaurant that you said you wanted to go to but never had the chance, those are the reservations that I'm gonna make so that we can go to that restaurant. So, you know what I'm saying? Like those are the things I'm gonna be looking out for.
I get it. As a woman, when I pull up in the parking lot, then meet me at my door to open my door, open the door to the restaurant, pull my chair out. When we leave, you wait for me to get in my car and me to pull off before you leave. So all of those show those signs of chivalry. But again, coming to my house wouldn't be allowed for me that early on. Now this is another thing that men have to also take into consideration. I know not every woman is the same. Some women are only going to want Steak 48 or Morton's or whatever else. Yeah, whatever else, or some women may want to be flued out. But you have to kind of listen and pay attention to the one, because an ice cream date or a coffee date, I think that is so cute.
Yeah, but that's you, and that's probably you're in the minority with that. I know for my wife, those things are cute. The intimacy of a water ice date, an ice cream date, a bike ride. shit like that. We have intimacy at the gym. So it works for us in these places. Now, I wouldn't take somebody on a first date to the gym or church.
I don't want you to see me sweat.
Again, Starbucks to me is like, okay, I'm not gonna. If we're going on a date, you get dressed, I get dressed. We're gonna meet at Starbucks for coffee.
But no, you have to let it be known. Like, as a woman, I would say, okay, like, what, like, is this casual? Is it more formal? So that she don't show up fully dressed. You let it be known. No, just be comfortable.
But I'm just saying, y'all dress together. Not whether it's formal or casual. Y'all dress. Y'all trying to look y'all best. Y'all got cologne and perfume on, and you meeting at Starbucks.
And we're gonna sit at Starbucks, or we're gonna sit in there. I'm gonna get me the walnut pecan banana bread
on a first date. Our first date was McDonald's.
Exactly. So
and we screwed at the
hotel. And then we went
next
to the Days Inn. But what I'm saying is, again, this list, I think,
family functions. I'm not bringing you to no barbecues or anything like that.
I think a family function would be funny though, because
your mom and your dad and your cousins and brothers and your sisters, all them is there.
I don't
just
even
met
know
you on the first, like a week ago.
Them. Yeah.
So I don't want to be around them. That would be uncomfortable. To how my behavior would have to be. Yeah. Because I only known you for a week.
I don't want to go to church because all churches aren't created equal, and I ain't trying to step into nothing and there's some demonic stuff going on.
Scientology.
So I'm not going to church.
Yeah. I'm not going bowling. I think is fun. I don't know whatever y'all females y'all compiled this list. Whatever y'all think is wrong with bowling is whatever. I don't see nothing wrong with bowling. I think it's fun. I think it's practical. I think it's not nothing that you're exerting a lot of energy. Yeah, the music's on, like the TV's on, like it's fun.
Yeah, I like bowling.
No nightclubs. I wouldn't go to no fucking nightclubs. I wouldn't go there. I don't smoke, so I'm not gonna be in a hookah bar.
But if that was your thing, I guess, like, that, or like going to the bar for just drinks. And see, this is the thing too. Women are
looking like you're trying to booze me up. How many drinks am I going to have with you on a date? We're not going to sit here for 3 hours and get drunk.
Well, that's up to you to determine how many drinks you're going to have. Even if you just have 2, okay, that's fine. But I look at it as a man, like those little casual things like the coffee, the ice cream, just having a couple drinks. It's like, okay, can we do something light and casual before we do steak 48? But
these women of today don't want that. It's like we going out on a date.
That's probably why so many single.
Get some ice cream and sit in the park and talk so we can get to know each other. Some might be like, what? Like we ain't doing nothing. Like you ain't got nothing planned, and it's like,
yeah, I got ice cream planned. Get sprinkles if you want. Like what the hell?
And again, I see it from a that perspective and the other side of I am trying to court you, so I don't have a problem with. If we were talking about restaurants and you said, oh, I never been to STK. Guess what? Our first date might be STK because you never been and I want you to experience that. So I see it from both ways.
And I think for me too, and probably this is in hindsight, and this will be the last thing that I say. I look at it in the sense of we know now the importance of having friendship in a relationship. Right. So it would kind of be like, let's do something that friends would do so that we can kind of chill, hang out, talk, get to know each other. Being in a restaurant, yeah, you can talk, but it's only so much talking and laughing you can do. Some restaurants, you got a damn time limit, while you're there. You got the waiter keep coming over, you're eating, so I mean, we've
been to all these places for dates except
just a bar for drinks, or it says hookah
or hookah bar.
Yeah.
So out of 28 places, we've been to 26 of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I appreciate the authenticity. I appreciate while I know a man wants to show that he's courting you, but the genuineness of a date too, and don't be stuffy, don't set a precedent that you can't maintain. So while you want to take her out to Steak 48 or Ocean Prime or Del Frisco's, and then 3 months from now, and if she want to go there and it's like, I remember that bill from last time, or I remember the market price lamb chops you got, and I don't know if I can do that this time. So don't set a precedent. And ladies,
the market price lamb chops.
You cursed me out about those lamb chops. But also, ladies, I mean, you got to think, like, what exactly are you? What your expectations are based on what? I want to chill. I want to be myself. I don't want to wear a whole lot of makeup on the first date. I want you to like see me. I want to laugh. I want to be able to see your personality. So I do realize that I'm probably the minority, but an ice cream date or a coffee date on the first date, I think is so cute. Yeah.
And again, if we're trying to be friends, that would be a route that I would go to. But again, I also think that I might have to spend a little money on the first date, and I'm okay with that as a man.
Bring me some roses.
Now, if I get a chance to do ice cream or coffee or something like that, I'm happy. But if I'm taking somebody out that I really like, if it was you on the first date and I had the money, it would be like, okay, I'm expected to go out and take her. You know, I'm expected to spend some money. Now, if she say, I'm with the ice cream date, I'm with the coffee, then okay, we can do that too. And walk around and people watch and sit on a bench and laugh and joke and get to know each other. That's a date in itself.
And you know what? This is just another thing. I'm going to throw this out there for any couples that I think, or people getting to know each other. Going to a really nice restaurant, but like late at night, just for dessert. Mm-hmm. I think like, cause you go to a nice restaurant, they got really good desserts most of the time. So I think that's cute too sometimes, just to like go. I remember, and this was with my girlfriends, but I remember one time.
Some chick will shame you for that. Like, we ate at Longhorn, now we're gonna go to Del Frisco's for dessert.
But no, I mean, even if y'all didn't go out, if y'all talking, you busting up on the phone, it's 7:00, you already had dinner, or you about to eat. All right, well, after you eat dinner, meet me down at wherever. Let's get some dessert together. That type of vibe. I think that's just cute. But again, I got my man, so I ain't worried about no more first dates, God willing. And, but I'm just, I like a date. And, if y'all need some date ideas, hit us up. We got some cute date ideas. We date all the time. But, okay, I mentioned being friends. Now, there are some people, this is still talking about relationships, who look for something different in their partner. And it's a little bit like ill. Recently, Monique did an interview, and she mentioned how she always calls her husband Sydney. And Monique, y'all know the comedian, she always calls her husband Sydney daddy. She's been calling him daddy for years. But she revealed she does that because he has raised her. And he's been like a father to her.
Her exact quote was, she stopped getting what she was getting from her dad around 13, and who was gonna make her wise, who was gonna make her smart, who was gonna make her grow. And she thought that she found, I've heard of the term where it comes a point in time where your parent can't give you any more. Everything else you have to learn from life. So I do believe in that. But I don't believe in is the whole he raising me type thing. Like, you was a grown-ass woman. You talking about I got this money and, I needed somebody to raise me, is what she said, like out of her own mouth. So I disagree with, like, I wouldn't be wanting to raise nobody. Like, I don't want no parts of no shit like that. Like, it's just, I don't want no parts of that. And I think it's bad for women that she said something like that.
So this is my thing, right? You as my spouse, you have helped me grow. You have helped me learn. You have supported me. But in no way, as my partner, as my friend, as my spouse, not as a parent.
Yeah, and that's the way she made it sound. And I don't mean to cut you off. I'm gonna let you go. She said that he raises her in a sense of she didn't have nowhere else to go. She didn't know what else to do, and when they were best friends, he told her, "You're my sister, so I let you do what you want to do. You wasn't my responsibility, but as my wife, you are my responsibility for me to do that." Now you can take it from there.
Okay, and I get that from him as a man. Similar, right? We joke with y'all and we say like we was brother and sister before we was together. We had a friendship where there was a lot of like, my one thing I love, it could have backfired, but it didn't. My husband knows everything about my past, good, bad, indifferent. Some things that, had we not been friends, I probably would not have told him. But he knows everything about my past because that was disclosed to him when we were friends. once we became in a relationship, yes, I get it. You have a different responsibility. You have a different sense of protection of me as, your girlfriend, fiance, wife. So it changes. But I don't look at that as, okay, now you are like your response. I just don't look at it in a parental aspect.
No,
and her saying he raised me, like y'all grew. How about y'all grew together?
Yeah. How about you raised yourself through life experiences? You became a comedian,
and he supported
you. Was on tour.
you.
Yeah, he supported you. Y'all was married. You was living a different life. Like y'all had an open marriage. All these experiences happened to you, which made you grow.
Yeah,
whether
like
it be
you
good, bad,
poured
or
into
indifferent.
him, I'm hoping, and he poured into you. Hopefully, there was some reciprocity
thing,
in the teachings that were going on. My girl Crystal, love her to death. She has always been one that was like, I ain't doing the daddy zaddy thing. No, she did. She was just like, I told y'all, like this is why I don't play that. And it's weird because I said to her, like, wow, like to hear when I would hear like Crystal said, I'm like, nah, like women don't look at it like that. Like it's more like a sexual thing, like, hey Zaddy. But then to hear Monique verbalize it, it's like, ugh, maybe there are some like that's like, nah, like because I have never looked at it from that perspective. I got daddy issues to begin with, so you ain't gonna act like my dad.
I've told you 1,000 times in our relationship, I don't want to be your dad, and I meant that shit every time I said it. Like
the moment I feel like you trying to, or I know
like
that
I know what we are. You're my friend. You're my wife, and I like that. I don't want the daddy-daughter relationship.
Exactly, and the moment that I've ever felt like, don't be telling me what to do, or like that's just not the relationship. And if you look at him like that,
but I can tell you what to do though.
You can tell me what to do because you can tell me what to
do.
But you can't tell me what to do like my daddy because you ain't my daddy. You can tell me what to do like my husband. But the moment like you look at him as like, oh, he raised you, the fact that she correlated the two.
It's bad. It's not because you can say a poor choice of words, but like she said, the fact that she correlated the two and drug the parental part in, exactly what she was talking about. Yeah,
she stood on that. Like he raised me like my daddy, so So you're calling him daddy like that? Is he spanking you, sis? Like when you act up, are you on punishment? Like how far does this go?
If he's an older gentleman, he's just giving you game. He's just bouncing ideas off you. He's not raising you. He's helping you grow.
He's your partner.
He's not. It's what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be better for being with him. He's supposed to be better for being with you, not he's raising me. Like, if you wouldn't have never been with him, you would still be like a child doing dumb shit.
Like, if you called me mommy, in the sense of in the sense of like,
I got mommy issues. Like, she got daddy issues, so I'm not doing that. The fuck are we
that
talking
would be
about
like,
here?
Get away from me! I am not your mother.
Yeah, like touche.
Nah, that's.
How much therapy we would be in?
Yeah, that would be like, nah, that's a little sick. Talking about mommies and things like that. So recently, Paris Hilton, and it's so crazy. It's a gnat. I don't remember Paris Hilton being pregnant. Is she one of those women? I don't know.
Like, a surrogate.
Right, okay, that's what I was gonna ask.
Pulled a Kim K or a Kardashian move.
Yeah, no, I did read that she had tried for fertility treatment several times and was unsuccessful. So maybe surrogacy was her only option. Because I'm thinking like she's not in the public eye much anymore. But I didn't remember seeing her pregnant. But nevertheless, she had a baby, and she released a statement recently saying like, my baby's off limits. Now, looking at the boy, and I don't know if it was verified, he looks like he may have hydrocephalus.
Yeah, it's kind of like that light
water on the brain. Yeah, which can resolve itself over years.
Yeah.
And so
you have to wear a helmet while you're young.
And sometimes you can get they place a shunt in your head to like help reduce the fluid. But she released a statement saying like, don't like talk about, like, I know we're in the public eye and it's kind of like you can't really help it, but kids are off limits. And it just made me sad to think that anybody would even have to say that. But I remember us having a conversation about like old school, I guess celebrities, but in a different way. Like when we think about the Alex Trebeks of the world from Jeopardy, we think about the Pat Sajaks of the world from Wheel of Fortune. I don't know anything about their families. I don't know anything about if you look it up, you can find out, oh, he had a daughter, or they had kids and this, that, and the other. But you never knew, like, oh, look at Alex Trebek's daughter out there thotting and bopping in the clubs, or look at Pat Sajak, daughter or so. Like, I don't know anything about their families.
Bob Barker's kids.
Yeah, so it makes you think, like, as when you're in that limelight, is it just best to just completely keep your baby, like, really shield them away from the public? Because
she's one of them people, like, when you just said them names, Alex Trebek, Bob Barker, and what's her name?
Pat Sajak.
Pat Sajak. Those people were famous, right? But they wasn't famous on a level of Paris Hilton,
like
where
stardom.
She was an heiress to a fortune of hotels. So it's different when your grandfather is fucking Hilton.
But that's not where she gained her notoriety.
I know she gained it through social media and
through
all that.
The first reality TV
like all that kind of stuff. But
phase.
I'm just saying it's difficult for her to shun her kids.
Is it though? Because if you think about this, right? The one who used to be with her, Nicole Richie. We ain't never seen her. Yeah.
But I think she like moved out of LA, living like Oklahoma somewhere. Like she got like Paris Hilton still live in Los Angeles. So everywhere they step outside, sometimes people waiting outside of their houses for them to come out to make a, it's people trying to take pictures of them. Nicole Richie went away. Like,
yeah.
she fell
And
off the
who
face
else
of the
I
map.
thought about? Foxy Brown.
Yeah.
Because
England.
Little Kim was getting a lot, people saying negative things about her daughter because of her eye deformity. And I'm not being mean, I think you would call it that, right? She had there's a lack of symmetry.
I'm just learning this.
In her face, like.
And Little Kim's daughter.
Yeah, like one of her eyes is like
a lazy eye.
Yeah, but it's a little more than that. Yeah.
Are you saying like it's not in line with, like it's not in the proper place? Or it just roams?
No, maybe it is just a lazy eye then. So
okay, well that's just like cross-eyed or a lazy eye. I thought you meant like not in the same location.
I don't think it's that bad. Yeah, I think it's just but you think of like negative comments that people may have made, and with Foxy Brown, I have never seen a picture of her daughter. Like never. So that's like there's a way to keep your children out of the limelight.
Remy Ma does it to a certain point with her kid. I mean, she kind of just starts showing her a little bit, but for a while, like you didn't know what she looked like or her kid. And it's just the internet. People are mean as fuck on the internet. You could put a fresh out the coochie baby out the incubator, beautiful looking baby bundled up, and somebody will be like, "Get that ugly ass baby off here." Yeah. Like just to say it. So when you put a baby up there that has a deformity, and like I said, that deformity causes like a light bulb shaped head. Yeah. People are gonna just attack that. Like stupid, ignorant people, high people, like people are gonna say dumb shit just to say it.
You know what I don't like though? I mean, whether or not somebody chooses to show their baby or not is completely at your discretion. But don't show us the baby, but not show the baby. Like, don't put a picture of the baby up and put an emoji over the face. Like, it's not you don't have to show your baby if you don't want to. And I respect the sanctity of that moment of like wanting to cherish and not be subjected to that. I know some people that only will show their children like in close friends, like if they post it on their story, like so, which is a select group of people that they
family
trust
and friends,
or whatever.
Not to repost it or screenshot it and put it
or
out.
Like, and I know Shanique, who I love. When she first had her daughter, it wasn't a matter of like. Her daughter Nori's beautiful, but you never know what people want to do, say, and you just want to keep that private.
Parent, you don't want to, even if it's the internet, you don't want to read somebody saying your baby ugly. Yeah, you just don't.
Because some people would say something just to be mean, and now it's on because you talked about my child. Like, exactly, you can never come back from that, like, ever. So I mean, I get the sanctity of it, but it's like, either put it in your close friends, don't post the baby at all, but don't post the baby with the sticker over the face. Just keep it, sis. We don't we you,
Yeah, you don't have to do it.
It's your baby. I respect it. You don't have. I know some people, they don't even tell people that they had babies, and the family may know, but social media may never know until months later. You be like, damn, I didn't even know you had another baby.
And it's kind of ironic how the baby can be on social media, but then when the baby is like 4 or 5, it can't be until it's old enough. So if it's like you making, rules that you can't be on social media till you 12, 13, 14.
Well, why you put me on there?
Put me on when I was 6 months. What the fuck are you doing? Like, I mean, that makes like, what the fuck? I was 6 months, 3 months. You got me in all these fucking clothes, put me on social media. Now I got to wait till I'm 13 to be on it.
Yeah. Another thing, and I read this ain't me, y'all, because I know how y'all like to tussle, but I seen some people say, when y'all create pages for your babies or for your dogs,
y'all shouldn't
and you talk from the page like you the baby or the dog, and then you respond like you wasn't like the one that wrote it, like, or mommy's my best friend, and then you'll respond, you're my best friend too. You wrote it, sis. Yeah. Like, it's a little bit of like cuckoo. Yeah, you cuckoo. I'm just putting it out there. But your babies be cute, so I love the babies. They be cute.
Speaking of being cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, a lot of people might say that phobias are people who cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, depending on what their phobia is. There are some rare phobias. Now, you have a phobia of mice. You know what that's called?
Mesophobia.
She has mesophobia.
I'm sorry, musophobia. M-U-S-O, musophobia.
And that's being afraid of mice specifically, or rodents? Rats. Okay, so it's rats specifically. Is there one for mice? Because you know they're two different.
You know what? Look it up. I'm not even sure. I think it's combined. I think it's rats and mice. But yeah, and it's crazy because I think the first phobia that I became arachnophobia because of the movie, right? Scared of mice. I'm sorry, scared of spiders. Was the first. That's rats.
Yeah, it's mice too.
Okay. Arachnophobia was the first one that, like, I think most people became aware of. Then the next one I became aware of was agoraphobia. There was a movie with Susan Sarandon where she was afraid to come outside. So those were like,
remember Shields?
Yeah, Shields from Shameless.
From Shameless,
yeah. So those were the first, like, two, arachnophobia and agoraphobia, that I became aware of.
And again, ironically, I have arachnophobia. She has musophobia. So she, just as much as she's scared of mice, I am of spiders. Small, big, medium, it doesn't matter. I don't want to kill it. I want to just turn away and you kill it and we move on. But don't call me. See a mouse. Don't call me if it's a spider or something like that, or basically any bug. I'm just not that guy. Like, I'll do a whole bunch of other shit in the house, but don't call me for bugs and shit like that. She's more of the bug killer.
Can I tell y'all a secret though? This wasn't the full reason. At our old house, we had a beautiful, huge yard on a golf course, and we would get field mice sometimes. Completely different from like a hood city ghetto mouse. It was a field mouse. And I was so in agreement to sell that house, to move to a new house, because in the wintertime, and this had only happened, we were there for 14 years.
It happened 2 years.
This happened maybe the second year that we moved there, and then like the last year before we moved. So yes, like, it is, I did not want to be there anymore because it was a mouse.
Yeah, they used to come off the golf course. But we have some rare phobias that I don't know if you people out there ever heard of. Do you know what bathophobia is?
Afraid of baths?
No, you're afraid of unsafe depths. Even something as deep as a bathtub. Wow. So you're just afraid, long hallways, things that have depth to them.
Oh, water. So not just depth of water, but just unsafe depth.
Like can't walk down long hallways, shit like that.
Wow, that's weird.
And it's rare. It's not a lot of people have bathophobia. Can you say the second one?
I'm gonna say that's arachabuterophobia.
Say it again.
Arachabuterophobia.
Arachabuterophobia is the fear. It's one of the rarest phobias. And it is the fear of having peanut butter stuck to the roof of your mouth.
Oh wow! So I wonder if you feel like you're gonna choke because
Yes,
it's
that's what
dry.
it's
Oh
behind. It's exactly
wow!
what it's behind.
Okay.
Fear. So it's like it's not fear of choking, but fear of having something stuck to the roof of your mouth so that you don't choke.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. And it's so specific too. I can imagine it's rare. Like, what is it? 10 people in the world,
Probably. Yeah, it's
but
like the rarest.
and for them to name it, it has to be like a serious, serious fear.
Right. Can you
Yeah.
say this? The next one.
Um, aphazagora,
Athazagoraphobia.
aphazagorophobia. Yeah.
You put another syllable in
Aphaza.
there. Athazagoraphobia.
Yeah.
Athazagoraphobia is the fear of being forgotten. That was
Wow.
like really interesting to me that people have a fear of being forgotten. And I wonder how that ties into death or in this life. Like they just
Right.
have a fear of being forgotten about. Like these people need to be checked on. Like have to have people around them.
Yeah, and I think it's probably to a really serious emotional tie to that, because you think about it, nobody wants to be forgotten about. Like, you want people to tell you happy birthday,
I
or
never would have guessed in a million years it was a
that it was a
phobia.
name of it.
Yeah.
So it makes me think, like, were you left as a child, like were you lost,
Yeah,
were you
brought up in a
forgot,
foster home, like you feel like
Yeah.
nobody wanted you.
or were you like, did you get lost in a mall or something and your family went home, or and then you realize you forgot about
They
me?
pulled a Kevin, a Home Alone on your ass.
Yeah, that's pretty deep.
Acrophobia is the fear of dying from heights. So you can have a fear of heights, but there's a separate thing of dying from heights. Some people can't climb heights, but some people can climb heights, but think they're gonna fall when they get up there.
That's pretty. Yeah, I mean, you think too, a fear of dying from heights. So you're not just afraid. You're not gonna go up there not because you're afraid to be up there, but you're afraid that you may die while up there.
Yes.
That's
So that
sad.
you could never be up there on like the glass bottom things that you walk on, to like out on the edge of a building and you could see down.
I'm happy that that's not.
You ever see them Asian people up there like
Yeah,
holding on to the
shaking,
ground,
yeah.
shaking and shit?
I'm happy that is not a fear that
That's
I've ever
because it's
had.
mostly in Asia, those things. I'm not saying it like I'm racist against Asian people, but it's mostly in Asia that those things, that they build the glass bottom things.
Well, okay, but
They have a lot of them in China, in Hong Kong, and all that kind of stuff. Like you see them like walking out over mountains. That stuff's not in the United States.
But that's not usually glass. I thought you talked the bridges that they
No,
have.
they have walkways around mountains with glass bottoms. Mountains this steep in Asia.
Oh wow.
That kind of shit isn't built here. It's unsafe.
Wow. Okay. I thought you were talking about like in buildings, because in New York City there's a like a
In Seattle,
touristy
there's one
place
too, right?
too. I think so, but I know in New York City the observatory, you go and
Right.
it's a glass bottom. But
In
yeah,
Seattle's the thing, you get in and you
I think that's the needle.
dip out a little bit.
I think that's the needle. I think you can see.
I
I'm
would
not
never
sure.
fucking do that.
See. Yeah, I'm not afraid of heights at all. I'm actually pretty. I'm kind of an adventure seeker to the point that I don't want to get sick though. Like that's more of my fear. Not even fear. Like my hesitation about
I think
doing
you're not
certain
afraid
things.
of heights because you haven't been high.
Well, like
Right.
we went up the mountain.
But that's a big building that you're based on. Can you go up that high on a ladder? Can you go up that high on scaffolding? That's what I'm saying. You're walking up street, a road, a mountain, like it's.
But I wouldn't go up on a ladder, not because I'm afraid of heights, because I'm afraid of the insecurity of the ladder. I would walk up steps that high. I wouldn't walk, but a ladder.
Again, steps is a little different. If you knew it was a secure ladder, it wasn't going to fall, would you walk up it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You really probably ain't afraid of heights then.
I'm not afraid of heights. I've jumped off a 20-foot diving board before. Like, I'm not afraid of heights at all.
20 feet is like, that's I mean, it's high, you can dive from it, but it's not like 100 feet is what I'm saying. If you've been up 100 feet before and looked down and been like, holy shit.
We've been to the top of lighthouses before a couple times. I'm just saying people who are afraid of heights don't do that.
Yeah. They
so
don't.
yeah, I don't have a fear of heights. A ladder is a little unstable for me. Even a little ladder I don't like going up because it's like I'm at my own whim. Yeah. So but we were talking about social media, the craziness, the things that people do. This right here it's funny, but it's not funny. It's sick, and it's like the lengths that people will go to for something like ridiculous. So a man faked 20 heart attacks in restaurants to avoid paying the bill.
Some bills were $36. He faked a fucking heart attack for $36.
Like, sir, and I mean this.
He never had a heart attack. That's why he faked one.
I mean this with all the disrespect in the world. Take your fat ass home and eat at home. Why are you going to a restaurant to sit there knowing that you don't have money, knowing that you have this plan to fake a heart attack? So now not only are you causing a disruption in the restaurant, the staff got to come to your rescue. They got to call EMS. I guess they got to take you to the hospital or whatever.
Steal.
And then you probably got a medical bill that you're probably not paying because you ain't paid the $36 restaurant bill. So I know you ain't paying the $100 ER copay. Like, what the hell is wrong with people? One bill said he had a fucking
steak and a pint, because he's a Spanish guy. A steak and a pint of beer. $36. He had a heart attack. Like, what the fuck? I don't know how people... Well, if you're hungry, you're hungry. But just to go in food establishments not wanting to pay. Like, you went there to get food. Like, buy food. Yeah. To fake a heart attack. How many times?
20 times.
That's insane.
Yeah.
You would think karma would be like, and I'm not saying nobody should ever have a heart attack. I'm not going to say that.
No,
but
right.
Some type of karma to be like, wake the fuck up and stop faking heart attacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, like, you stub a fucking toe and lose a nail. Something just to be like, stop faking fucking heart attacks. Like, that's not some shit you fake.
Yeah, that's crazy. When you say if you want food, just, people are hungry. I was talking to somebody who I grew up with on social media. She had posted something. It was a picture of Starbucks, right? And if you know Starbucks, people do the mobile orders, so they make them and they send them all on a counter for you to go and pick up. And it was like, this is the epitome of the biggest trust system, operating in the world, because you go and anybody can just walk in off the street and pick up a drink. They're not checking. They don't know if it's you, but they just trust the fact that people can do what they're supposed to do. If you ever do a mobile order from Chipotle, it kind of works the same. They put your food on the shelf. You walk over, you find your name, you grab your bag, and you leave. And you think, it's surprising that homeless people or just people that are hungry don't take people's food.
Same thing in a supermarket with the lunch meat. Anybody can walk in off the street, walk up to the refrigerator and say, this is my phone number, and grab a pack of meat.
Well, you got to pay for that, though. You can't walk out and steal. Well, that's different if you walk out and steal it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Starbucks and Chipotle, that's already paid for via the app.
Yeah.
So anybody can walk in.
They're not losing anything.
Yeah.
The person is actually losing who comes with their drink and is like, you already took it. Like,
exactly.
No, I didn't.
Like, no, I didn't take it. And it's funny because the girl, she's like, well, they know who their clientele is and where they have these locations. They would never try nothing like that in a Popeyes. No. Or in a KFC, no. Like just leaving stuff out like that.
Or the liquor store.
Yeah,
no.
when you just
like
ordering on the mobile app, and that wouldn't pop off. Not at all. Not at all. Moment of silence. Shaft.
Yes, rest in peace, Richard Roundtree, the original Shaft. Bad mother, shut your mouth. That was his tagline. Rest in peace to Shaft. Condolences to his family. He was 81 years old.
And he died from pancreatic cancer.
I can't wait to the top of the year so I can get my colonoscopy. Like, that's a big thing on my list to do. But men got to get checked for like these cancers, and pancreatic cancer is the worst one that you can get. Like, every time I hear that, I remember Deshaun Jackson when he came to the Eagles in like January. He was like, my dad was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, stage 1. By August, he was dead. And you talking about a guy who just got $7 million with access to all kinds of great doctors and shit. But from January to August, his dad was dead. And he was diagnosed with stage 1 pancreatic cancer. So rapidly he declined, even with the doctors that he could afford. And he was diagnosed, Richard Roundtree, 2 months ago. 60 fucking days.
So I wonder.
I don't know what stage, but 60 days ago he was diagnosed, and that's it.
Is there a test though that can be done, or is it just a matter of paying attention to your body if like you feeling like, because that's not like your colon or your
when
stomach.
You have money like that, I think you can get batteries of tests that they can tell your stool, your blood, if you have cancer in your body.
But it's not about necessarily having money. It's what is the sign? What is the signal? Like most people ain't just going and saying run these tests on me just arbitrarily to see if I have cancer. Like what are and I'm not saying you have the answers. I'm just curious, and that's something that maybe we can look up and find out. What are the signs? What are the symptoms that may
pancreatic cancer
lead you to going to the doctor?
I don't know. I can't run off like I'm a doctor, but I think the signs are not being able to go to the bathroom, stomach pain, hard stomach.
But your pancreas is not the same as your colon, though.
I didn't say it was.
I know, so I don't think that. I'm just saying I don't know if that affects you going to the bathroom.
Vamp a little
your pancreas is where insulin is produced. So, like, you know, people who have diabetes, it's somewhere related with that. I don't remember all the ins and outs of it, but your pancreas is what helps to produce. So it has something to do with your endocrine system, I think, not necessarily your digestive system.
Belly pain that spreads to your side or back, loss of appetite, weight loss, jaundice.
That's okay. Your eyes getting yellow.
White colored or floating stool, dark colored urine, and itching, and you may become diabetic.
Because of the insulin, because insulin is producing in pancreas. So if it's not working properly, then that might be a sign. So wow. And again, some of those things can be connected to so many other things. You just might not think that I might have pancreatic cancer because my side is hurting or because my stool is floating.
And it's light, like I've got white poop now,
or if you have dark colored urine, you might think, damn, I need to drink some water. So it's one of those things
and it's probably fucking with everything, pancreas, kidneys, like all that shit. That shit's sad, but I know, and I've heard doctors say on like documentaries and commercials and podcasts that's one of the worst cancers to have is pancreatic cancer. Like you can deteriorate rapidly if that shit's not under control. And I don't know what the vamp for a little bit. I'm gonna see what's the survival rate for pancreatic cancer.
It's sad because you think of all of the cancers that we hear about, breast cancer being like number one, prostate cancer for men we hear about, colonoscopies for both men and women to help avoid colon cancer. But, it's so many cancers. Like, you can get cancer at any part of your body. You would think that with all the fundraisers and research and everything that they're doing, that there would be, like, a battery of tests that have been created where they could just kind of scan your whole entire body annually just to make sure there's no tumors growing anywhere. I mean, I'm sure it costs a lot of money, but there's a lot of money being donated towards cancer research that they should be able to use for these things.
88% mortality rate, 12% survival rate.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You learn anything?
No.
Not a damn thing?
I haven't.
Just been dumb all week, huh? Sorry, dumb.
Your mother.
I ain't learned shit neither, man. So I've been done with you. 3 grams. What you got?
DJ Envy, your boy.
It's looking bad. It's looking bad because it's bad when it say he's cooperating. I don't know what that means, whether he's telling something that he is getting himself out of trouble or he didn't have nothing to do with it and he's just cooperating to like show everything that had to be done. And if y'all don't know what we talking about by now, DJ Envy from the Breakfast Club was caught up in a Ponzi scheme, is what they call it, a Ponzi scheme in the real estate market. He was, he's the guy that has all these car shows, has all these events where he brings in real estate people to show people from the hood how to buy houses, how to create generational wealth. And he was with this guy named what the fuck is his name?
New Jersey.
Flippin' New Jersey, but what's his name?
Caesar Pena.
Caesar Pena. And he got locked up with, by the feds. The feds came past iHeart Studios, where the Breakfast Club is, took some computers and electronic stuff. So a lot of people think Envy going to jail, but then they say he cooperating, so might not go to jail.
But I also read that Envy was a victim of Caesar
That's what
as
he
well.
said. He gave $500,000 to Caesar, never got nothing back.
And my thing is this: cooperating. Okay, you're.
Hold on, before you go, Caesar was on live today or last night and might have told on himself, because he said, how people want to be around you when you're successful, but DJ Envy had nothing to do with this. He wasn't in the room with me. I wouldn't say that if I just got indicted. That's kind of a guilty admission to say, okay, I did something, but I'm clearing him. He wasn't in the room when I did what I did. So I wouldn't even use that terminology.
Yeah, language matters.
Yeah, at all. I wouldn't even have said he wasn't in the room with me. He was like, but people blasting DJ Envy for the stuff that, I'm caught up in, but he wasn't even in the room with me. That's admitting guilt, but saying he's clear.
It's admitting guilt to something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't do that 6 days after I got indicted.
And for Envy, I don't blame him. If you ain't had nothing to do with it,
Gia probably said, you better fucking
tell him what you know.
Every fucking thing.
Yes, tell him what you know.
This shit better not come home to the house.
Yeah, tell him we got a family here.
Yeah,
and
all these damn kids.
And maybe you made a mistake in associating and aligning yourself with someone who was doing erroneous things, illegal things. But don't, for the sake of I ain't snitching, allow our lives to crumble. You don't have no loyalty to this man, because he ain't had no loyalty to you, because if he did, he would, well, maybe he does. That's why he's exonerating you by letting it be known that you had nothing to do with it. But he shouldn't expect you to keep your mouth shut and go down with him if you didn't have nothing to do with it.
And I think it's it's plausible. I mean, I believe that. I don't know if he did anything or not. All I'm saying is you just have to see how it plays out. But do you think the $500,000 was one lump sum? Because how much money do you keep giving a person without no return? So you would think the $500,000 had to be one lump sum, because it couldn't be 50,000 head, 80,000 head.
No, yeah, I would think.
And I'm getting no return, and this shit just equaling $500,000. That's a lot of payments.
Yeah, I would think it's one lump sum, or some people were saying, sometimes. I would like to think on some of his deals, people were making a return on it. So maybe when you gave him 50, you made back 75. So people oh, okay, he about something. Now when you invest 75, all right, you made back 115.
Why was he asking for people to bring the money in cash and wasn't counting it?
No paper trail.
Well, why would you do that?
Because he's a crook.
No, if we were going to do that, and we're legit people trying to get into the real estate business, and saw this property, that apartment building with 40 units that we could get in on, and it was like the guy who's going to do the deal asked us to bring $20,000, but he don't want a cashier's check. He wanted cash. And then when we take it to him, he takes it, don't even count it in front of us, and just says, all right, we good.
Let me tell you this, Art, and just let me get this off.
No receipt, no fucking
Let me
nothing.
Get this off. People are blinded by the number of followers that people have, by the affiliations that people have, without realizing just because people do crimes in broad daylight, just like they do crimes on social media. And not necessarily always crimes, but people can be fraudulent on social media just like people are in real life. But when people see someone who has a platform, I have seen women stand on platforms and promote the message of self-care, self-care through loving your natural self, self-care through, appreciating your natural self, then turn around and get BBLs. I have seen women promote diet and exercise to lose weight. No matter what you do, we not going to be fat no more. Work out, eat right. And then they go pop pills to lose weight. We know you have all of these women who they go and they get BBLs, and now they personal trainers, and they want to sell, workout videos, or, come to the gym with me, or, subscribe to my page and I'm going to give you, my workout books and stuff. When you forgetting to tell people how you got there, you need to market to other people that have got BBLs, and now market to them on how to maintain your BBL. Not market to the fat people telling them how to look like you, because you're skipping a step. So just like through all of that, with Caesar, people see the followers, people see the flash, people see the cars, people see the affiliation, and they just follow behind that and thinking, oh, they're on here, they got a platform, they got 350,000 followers, they can't be lying, they can't be fake, they can't be phony, they gotta believe in what they say until they prove that they don't, or until they prove that they are fraudulent, or until they prove they just because they're on social media. This is why I say it is a photo album. Stop constructing your lives behind people that you follow.
When you could, even with the social media, if somebody told us to bring $100,000 to them, and you don't call a lawyer first to say, hey, I'm about to make this payment of $100,000.
Where's my receipt?
Is this legit?
Yeah.
Can you oversee this? Like, what person off the street, even like if you do got $100,000 in the house or in cash, like who's gonna pass that off on some we good shit? No matter, you might have had to do something, you might regret to get that $100,000 that you saved up. So now that you got it, why would you just give it to somebody on some we good shit?
Because people
like, I ain't gonna go get a $2,000 lawyer out the $100,000 and be like, okay, here's $98,000.
People not even thinking that way, because one, like you said, if you got this money the back door way, the illegal way, all right, and you trying to do something good with it, you're afraid to like include other people in the process because you already know you started out on the bad foot.
Yeah.
So you're afraid to like bring in lawyers and stuff like that. You're afraid of how many questions might be asked. And to be honest, you don't really know the world that you're getting into. All you know is, he said if I give him this, he can make this happen, and you're just going with that. And you obviously don't have anybody in your circle, anybody in your corner to be like, I don't know. You know, if you came to me with something like that, I'd be like, babe, I don't think that sound right. Like, let's look into this. Let's read up on it. Let's look up the deed. Deeds are public information.
Yeah.
Let's look up the deeds on this house that he's saying that he can flip.
Let's talk to some people who did business with him to see their experience with him. Let's call a lawyer to see if any paperwork he's given us is legit or fugazi. Like, let's hire a $1,000 lawyer in the real estate, in the field, to look over this paperwork he may have gave us and the money he's asking for the project he's asking for, and tell us, like, give us your expert opinion on, is this legit? Because we don't know shit. And before we give this dude $80,000, we need to, like, this is our hard-earned money. We don't sell drugs. We go to work and save money.
And the moment he act like, nah, you don't need that paperwork, or nah, don't worry about it, you don't need no lawyer, or nah, I got it, we cool, we don't got to sign up, and
that's the
we
biggest
out.
red flag.
We out.
Yeah, that's the biggest red flag. Like, I just don't know how you pass off 100,000, 150,000 on some we good. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna call you in a day or two and let you know how it works out. When everybody knows real estate's like, it's like gambling. Like, especially if it's not a property you already own. But if you trying to like flip some shit, it's a gamble. It could come back and be like it fell through. No, we're not doing that.
Another gram. Tyler Perry got $1 billion deal.
Damn, that's how much it was?
I believe so.
Shit, I know Netflix. It was 5 years, but it was $1 billion goddamn dollars.
I'm pretty sure it was $1 billion deal with Netflix.
To make more Madea movies?
Well, that's what I'm hoping that it's not, because, and I mean...
Or more of the sisters and shit like that, those drama stories.
Which, some people watch them and they say that they're pretty good. So it is, let me just say this, so inked a new collaboration, entering a multi-year first look agreement to write, direct, and produce feature films. So Sisters is a series, it won't be filmed. The agreement includes a total of 8 films to be produced over 4 years. And then Ari Emanuel, who's the CEO, he talked about it a glimpse, and Tyler just pretty much said he talks too much. And I'm sorry, maybe I made that up to say $1 billion, because I thought I saw that somewhere. A 4-year partnership deal, multi-year. Nope, I don't see $1 billion. I think I made that up.
So we renege on that. So we don't want to spread bad information. It seemed a little big when you said that, $1 billion. Like, Martin fucking Scorsese don't get $1 billion goddamn dollars. Like, he makes the best
just
movies
imagine
ever.
Me putting that out there, and then somebody going to tell the next, Don't believe these people on the internet.
Listen, I told Eddie the same thing. This guy at work, one of my friends at work, I told Eddie, I said, he talking about, yo, you heard about the airplane pilot? What? I go, he shut the engines off in the air. I said, now, why you gonna say that? He gonna say, why? I said, he tried to shut the engines off in the air. Why you? I'm like, now I go tell somebody else that shit and it's some bullshit. He tried. He didn't shut the fucking engines off. I said, but you gotta come up with the facts, bro. Like, you want to tell me the story? Tell me the real shit.
Well, let's talk about it.
Airplane pilot man said he was on magic mushrooms.
Well, let's just say this. He was a pilot and he was catching a ride, like, for lack of better words,
like a
on
third
another
seat.
plane.
Yeah, like a third seat.
And he tried to cut the engine off he wanted to crash the plane. And
I don't know if he wanted to crash the plane. He just said, I'm not okay. He yelled out, I'm not okay in the cockpit, shoved one of the pilots and then grabbed the controls to shut everything down, which is something you're not supposed to do. It makes the plane a glider. And I think you can't start it back up in the air. Some shit that would go wrong that you can't.
He would have killed everybody because he got charged with 83 counts of attempted murder because shutting it off, like you said, it would have killed everybody. A glider. Let me tell you this. I'm not excusing his behavior at all. I never took a mushroom. I know. I ain't never took a mushroom.
He said he was depressed. He had a close family friend die a few days before that. I'm not saying that this is cause to try to cut a plane off with 80-something people on board. Not at all. But you got to take into consideration that some people, like, you still have to be punished. Yeah. But we understand why you did what you did. You wasn't okay. You were high. You were depressed. You were fucking grieving. We get all that. But you still have to be punished for trying to fucking, you put 88 lives in jeopardy. 83 lives in jeopardy. That's a problem. That's no different than you trying to open the goddamn door up in the sky.
I never took a mushroom. If a mushroom makes you feel anything like an edible, I can understand him saying, I am not okay.
Not the same thing.
It ain't the same thing, but being that high and being in a state of your mind.
The weed edible was more like a body thing and you're still there. Mushrooms I ate, the fucking bar, I wasn't there. The smoke that I was smoking was doing things in front of me and forming stuff to the point where I just wanted to close my eyes and put my head down.
Did they talk to you?
No. And even when my eyes was dark and I could see all black, the smoke still was making shapes and forming things. And I don't know what they were forming, abstract shapes, but the same on each side. So if the smoke went on this side and did this, the smoke did the same thing, almost like a mirror image. It was fucking with me. Yeah. I did not like that.
I'm happy that they were of the right mind to, get a hold of him to stop it. That would have been a tragedy. Yeah. I wonder if that will make them change because they said that seat is reserved for airplane for flight attendants or other pilots who catch a flight and there's no seats left. So they give, they're kind of giving them like a courtesy ride. It's no seats left on the plane, so they let them sit there. I wonder if they're going to change the policy and nobody's allowed in the cockpit anymore.
Or be drug tested, because you can't be on, mushrooms are still illegal. So the fact, if he was drug tested, they would have known he had mushrooms in his system 48 hours before then.
But even if he's not high, anybody's sitting there.
Well, they have to take a drug test before they fly, right?
But he was a passenger.
I understand that. That's why I'm asking the question, because I'm saying if he was a passenger, maybe he wasn't drug tested. But I would think you had to pee in a cup before you take a flight.
I don't know.
I would think you have to take an instant drug test before you fly a plane.
I mean,
it just seems like the responsible thing to do. I mean, look at Flight with Denzel. The motherfucker was showing up on cocaine and boozed up.
It would make sense, but the sad part is, you might have to take a drug test, but nobody ain't testing to see if you drunk. Now, people will tell on you if they smell the liquor, but I'm sure there are people who know how to get past it. People put liquor in their water cup.
What if you're a pilot with a thermos, a coffee thermos,
and you got liquor in there? So I mean, it's like damn. But I wonder if they will stop anybody, because you could be sober and not be drunk. You just have, your wife could have just left you, and you get on this plane and you like, I'm taking everybody out. So that's scary. But I'm happy that they averted the tragedy from happening. And 83 counts of attempted murder. I don't think they ever trying to let him out, but who knows? Maybe he may be able to plead it down and say, he was temporarily insane, or he was out of.
You will be punished, and I mean it's the feds, because anything to do with planes and shit like that is the feds. So, I mean he gonna spend some time in jail. Like I said, they'll take that into consideration. They're not gonna like lock him up for life or give him the death penalty or no shit like that. Like he's not a terrorist, but he gonna be punished. I mean, you could probably do over 10 years in jail for that shit. 15 years in jail. And don't get me wrong, they'll look and say, at the end of the day, nobody got hurt.
Right.
Nobody got hurt. So why would we give this guy 100 years in prison? Like, it just don't make sense. If he was grieving, like people, they grieve before they understand that you're not in your right mind.
Right.
So, let's do a wrap. Act 2 the podcast, episode 146 coming to a close. It's your boy, International Walk.
It's your girl, Tosh, the co-hostess with the mostest.
And you guys can catch us on Facebook, Act2thepodcast.com, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, and Pod Chaser, Player FM also. I fucking stumbled a little bit. If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace.